Hi folks, welcome back to Three Barrow Farm. I just thought I'd have a chat while I'm watering tonight about watering, because I'd be interested to know how you guys water or when you water and such. Some people say to water in the evening, other people say to water in the morning. I do a bit of both. I think you water when you can. Just as long as, it's not in the middle of the day, because obviously you're not going to utilise that water as much if you water in the middle of the day. Gosh, I really have to come out here and harvest all of this spinach. The spinach is, some of it's starting to go to seed. So I really need to get the rest before it goes to seed. Just everything that you plant in autumn ends up going to seed in late spring or mid-spring. All right, I'm all the way down the end of my garden bed where the carrots are down here. So I'm just giving my carrots a really good soak over here. I do have a dripper system, which I normally water everything from, but some of my rows don't have two irrigation pipes going down them, and this one is one of them. So I'm not getting water to part of this row, and that's why I want to do some hand watering every now and then. I'm definitely hand watering the carrots every day. I'm usually doing it from a watering can, and I can see that there's a pumpkin plant coming up in my carrots, so I'm going to have to move that. But the pumpkin is growing there because I put compost from the compost bin out onto this garden, and you always end up with pumpkins growing from the compost. And I'll give my potatoes a really good water as well. It's going to be a warm day tomorrow. It's going to get up to 28 degrees. So I want everything to have a good water. But I did have the irrigation on the other day and I forgot about it. So it was on for longer than I intended. And then, of course, it's flooded a bit into my pathways, but never mind. The garden is looking really lush and really happy because I've been watering. So I guess what I'd be interested to know is, how often do you water? I water every day unless it's rained. So I try to water every day at least. I definitely do miss some days. And I have an alarm on my phone to remind me to water. And it's generally in the morning. First thing in the morning, I will water. And if I forget or miss doing that watering, I will water in the evening. And pretty much in summertime, when it gets busy as well, I'll end up watering in the evening anyway. There's just so many other things to be doing outside in the morning, like harvesting all of the vegetables and the lettuces and that when they're at their best, and that is in the morning. So I do spend most of my time in the mornings harvesting, and then that leaves the evenings. And the evenings, let's just face it, in summertime, it's just too hot, and all you really want to be doing is standing next to a hose and getting, your legs slightly wet, which is quite nice. So I do a bit of both. I do a bit of morning watering and a bit of evening watering, and it suits me, and my garden is happy no matter which time of the day I water. Now that I've opened this netting up, it's meant that things can get in there and get sort of trapped. There was a butterfly in there just now and I got it out. Oh, there it goes. But I really have to, in the morning, I'm going to be taking this netting off. The reason I'm keeping it on, particularly down at the end there, closer to you, is because I have all the potatoes there, and, I'm just being a bit sensitive about keeping them covered so that they don't get frostbite. Not that we're expecting any frosts anytime soon. All of my fennels that are planted down here and that are in the garden here are looking so good. I can't wait to harvest some of them. I really need to harvest the rest of these radishes that I have in here. Tomorrow is going to be a big harvest day. It's going to be very exciting. I'm going to make lots of things from the items that I harvest. And the tomatoes are looking really good. I've watered them just now. You don't want to water the leaves too much because they don't like getting wet. So I have watered them and they've put on a lot of growth over this last week. And I haven't really been out here much. I've been putting the irrigation on. I haven't been hand watering. And one fantastic thing about hand watering is that you get to look at everything. You're witnessing your garden as you're going past. You're seeing things that you wouldn't see if you're just turning that dial to put the irrigation on. So I really do like to get out here and hand water every now and then because I get to see things that I wouldn't normally see. I'm looking forward to showing you, but we've sort of decided to do something quite different with the first vegetable garden to my right here. We'll probably extend the garden a little bit, and I'll probably do this during this week if I have time after all the other things I want to get done. But yeah, we're aiming at doing some different things in that area, so I'm looking forward to it. I didn't see this sprouting broccoli before when I was taking you through the garden. Look at that one. I think I might eat it raw. Oh my goodness. I thought that the mint was bursting with life before, but it has definitely taken off now with all this warm weather. And I've got some more spinach here going to seed. So there'll be more room here to grow things. I've got lots of room for my tomatoes, my eggplants and capsicums that are ready to come out. I also need to plant my zucchinis and cucumbers. I've got this frost cloth here, but this frost cloth will need to go on this bed when I plant the capsicum and eggplants. So what other questions do I have about watering? Yeah, so how often you water, when you water. I'd like to know. I'm interested. We all have different climates and we all have different needs at different times of the year as to how much watering we need to be doing. But I definitely feel like that sun is quite hot now. Like even on today with it only being 23 degrees, it was quite, it was beaming down on me quite nicely. And you can easily get sunburnt here in Australia. Doesn't take long, doesn't take much at all. So if you think about that and you think about how much water we need to stay hydrated as well, your plants definitely need to be watered every day, especially when it hasn't rained in a while. But all those farmers that are growing our food, they are watering once or twice a day to get that food ready for us to eat. And if we also think about our seedlings, we're watering our seedlings every day, sometimes multiple times a day. And so we need to, when we plant them out, we need to replicate that. We need to keep watering them every day so that they don't get into shock. And that's, one other reason why things will die, or, seedlings will die, or they won't do as well, or they go to seed, is because, we haven't watered them enough. So we use these spray nozzles and we get them from Mitre 10 and they last a long time, as long as you don't lose them in the garden. So this is a new one because we have misplaced the one I was using out here somewhere. And I'm not sure if it was me or if it was one of the kids, but we've got two new ones now, and hopefully these ones will stay. We put them on the windowsill right near the tap, and hopefully we won't lose this one. Okay, so this vegetable garden is slowly being revamped. Just give my garlics a bit of a water, but I'm also watering down this manure that I've just put down and preparing the bed by wetting it, getting it ready to put seedlings in. So it's cracking a bit on the top, but underneath it has, it has got quite a lot of moisture already. So even though I put a few layers of newspaper down and all this manure on top, there is potatoes growing up through from last year, and I've also got some flowers coming up over here, and there's one weed here as well, which looks like it's pretty much died. But yeah, you can see that there's some cracking. There's cracking in the soil, in the manure that I've put on top. And the manure is slowly sort of accepting more and more water. It sort of is repelling the water a little bit, I guess, or it is the mulch that I use on top, so it will crack a little bit. But as I said in other videos, I think in my last garden tour, I did mention that, underneath is quite moist. It's quite wet underneath, and I showed you, I dug up just the top layer of the soil, and it's nice and wet underneath. And you can tell by the plants, I mean, they're not starving of water. They're doing quite well. You just want to keep the water up to your plants when they start to fruit, because this is the time where they need the most water to actually make your vegetables that you're going to eat. You're going to harvest and you're going to eat them. So I think I'm going to plant more potatoes down this row, and then I'm also going to plant some corn as well. And in the middle here, I'm going to plant some tomatoes. And then I need to finish off the rest of this garden. So I've got quite a bit of work to do, and I plan to get quite a bit done tomorrow. We'll see how we go. Hey Luna, come here baby. Come here. I've got my little Luna here. And Jackie, you gonna come, Jackie? Getting tickled by the garlic, hey? So this is a very short little video. I just thought I'd have a little chat to you about watering, and I'm really interested to hear from you all. So let me know below in the comments. Tell me how you water your garden, and any tips you have. So let me know whether you've found it better to water your garden in the morning or in the evening, and where you're located as well, because that really helps other people to know, if they come from the area that you're in, what to do in their area. It really does help. I have got a boot full of newspaper to put down in my garden, and continue to move the manure and put it into this garden bed here. I'm looking forward to getting rid of all of the weeds and getting on top of it and planting out things. I also want to chat to you about my seedlings, and I will probably do that in another video. So thank you for joining me for this little quick hello, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Enjoy your garden, my friends. Bye.